If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchased with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
We are live. It is a Friday night. It has been a bad couple of days that is leading into a great week of wrestling. So as you saw in the opening there, thoughts, prayers go out to the families, loved ones, fans, everybody for Terry Funk. And of course, yesterday, the one hit me hard, Bray Wyatt. I mean, Terry Funk, you know, we're going to go into a little bit of this, myself and Frankie talking about it. Terry Funk, you know, he got to live a full life. He got to give back to the sport of professional wrestling, and that he did when he became the first ECW heavyweight champion on their first pay-per-view, Barely Legal. And then from there, he just kept putting over each and every young performer on the roster. And of course, you know how he became the hardcore legend. He had death matches, and I believe it was FMW then. It was Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling was there. And we're also doing a watch along with SmackDown right now. They got everybody on the stage.
Yep.
And they got the, you know, so we'll follow along on SmackDown as well. So we will be going, you know, back and forth to see what they do. They scrapped all plans for SmackDown tonight and made it a tribute show to both Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. And as I say, you know, Terry Funk was able to give back and live, you know, pretty full and complete life, you know. But for me, with Bray Wyatt, I mean, you know, Sean Ross Sapp came out yesterday, sent out the tweet that he was given permission to say that, you know, I guess it was after Royal Rumble, because remember, he fought Royal Rumble. He did the Mountain Dew Lights Out match that was sponsored by Mountain Dew. Oh, they got Eric was there. Redbeard was there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. They brought him in from Eric Rowan is there front and center right next to Triple H. I don't know if you can see him. Of course, he was with the, you know, the Wyatt family, and they said this was going to be a special show. So we're going to see, and kudos to WWE and kudos to the whole wrestling world. I mean, again, you don't see how tight of a, and I think Swerve Strickland said it best was, it takes something like this for everybody to come together and say how great somebody is. And man, it's just I got my daughters texting me like she's like, I never cried so hard until when I saw Eric Redbeard on the stage. She started crying.
Well, so, you know, he's the last one left from the Wyatt family, right?
Braun Strowman also. I mean, if you want to go with, because they brought Braun in as the black sheep. Oh, that's badass.
Wasn't
they just did the Firefly. They turned off the lights and then fireflies.
That's really nice.
Oh, it's a video. They're doing the video. Okay, they're doing a video. Like they sent to a video. I looked down late, but again, this is going to be one of those shows where we're going to look back at a life that was lived in the wrestling ring and lived out in the wrestling ring, which is Terry Funk, and then of course the one that was taken way too soon in Bray Wyatt. And as I was saying before, my daughter texted me was Sean Ross Sapp said he was given permission to say, you know, it was a COVID illness that exasperated a heart issue with Bray Wyatt, which everybody thought he was healing from. And there was talk of him making a return. And then it was a heart attack yesterday, which took him from us way too early. So,
yep.
It's just one of those things. And Frankie, I'm sorry, Frankie Fresco, of course, always here by my side. And Frankie, you want to add into, man, jump in, buddy.
Well, no, well, guys, welcome back. I'm tuning in just like you guys. I have it on this side. So if you keep seeing me look that way, it's because I'm watching it while we're talking. Yeah. But man, it's a very sad moment right now in the wrestling community. We all lost great wrestlers. One who lived his life, and then obviously one that unfortunately got cut short a little bit. I mean, Terry Funk, I remember Terry Funk from the ECW days. I'm a big fan of Terry Funk back then. And then obviously Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt for me, obviously he current wrestler. And, you know, we've had our conversations before where I was saying hopefully he would join AEW and stuff like that. So it was something that really got to our hearts. I saw the tweet that Triple H sent last night, yesterday, and then I sent it to Sean. I sent it to you really quickly. I was like, "Yo, Sean, look at this." And it's funny because Memo, he's not in the chat today, but he called me like right away. He's like, "Frankie, I think Bray Wyatt just passed away." I'm like, "What?" And then as soon as I went on Twitter, I saw everybody it started trending like crazy. It was very unfortunate. It's a sad moment for the wrestling community. We all wish, obviously we were hurt because of Terry Funk, but then this comes out of surprise. We never expected this. And
Yeah, I mean, Terry Funk had been sick for a little while, kept fighting as the old Funker did all the time, just fought his way back and stayed, with it as long as he could. But, a lot of people don't understand, Bray Wyatt came from a wrestling family. His dad is Erwin R. Shyster. His uncle is Barry Windham. His grandfather is Blackjack Mulligan. Again, Mike Rotundo married Barry Windham's sister. That's how they were tag team partners and things go there. But a lot of people didn't really realize, I guess, the lineage. And that's kudos to him because he didn't. When he first came into NXT, they had him as Husky Harris. And they had him wear the cowboy boots, kind of like what Barry Windham did a little bit and things like that. And then it was one of those things where I was like, man, I don't see it in this guy. I don't see it. Because I don't think he felt that. Like again, with wrestling, it's about feeling and being that, that little bit of yourself in your performances and your character and everything like that. And Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, however you want to look at it, was probably one of the most creative people. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to him. He stood by his guns and he left WWE because he was like, I'm not doing what you're not going to do, ruin my character, my creative of what I want to do. And then he was brought back and,
wow, some of them are crying.
Dude, you got to remember, man, these guys
tears out there, bro.
Yeah. There's Braun Strowman is the godfather to his son. I mean, it's a tight, Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes, they grew up together pretty much. The Wyndhams, the Rhodes, the Mulligans, however you want to look at it. And oh man, that kind of got me right there. Sorry, hold on.
Man,
that's tough, man. They put the spotlight on the rocking chair, and it's just there.
And it sucks because we didn't know him, personally, like these wrestlers did, but we all can relate. He was somebody that we really, really, we love wrestling. So us wrestling fans are just shell shocked by all this, like for us to just go ahead and be like, man, these two guys, like out of the blue. And I don't know if you saw the sign somebody was holding. Somebody had a sign saying he still has the whole world in his hands. That's strong, man. Like that type of stuff, man.
I always tell you, it's about getting fans to invest. And no matter, once he got that Funhouse Firefly Funhouse going, you were just hooked. And then when he brought in the Fiend character, it just elements and, and no matter what you want to say about this past, going up with that Uncle Howdy and how everything was going, we don't know how it was going to play out. Yeah. We know where it got to because, again, he got sick and then it wasn't able to play out, where I think ultimately it wanted to go to. But when you look at the mind that Bray Wyatt had, man, it almost like a horror movie producer creating professional wrestling.
Yeah.
That's kind of how he looked at it in a way. It's like the cinematic matches in when you look at what he did with Cena. Cena says that was one of the best matches. That gave him fire back into what he was missing from pro wrestling. The Undertaker whispering in his ear, whatever it was that he whispered.
Kind of like passing the torch.
I feel like he said, it's your playground now. That's what that's what I'm always going to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because, some guys got it. And man, dude, when you looked at what he had, look, man, he's not a physical specimen by no means.
No.
But man, he could pull you. And even when he did the, when he was like, when he used to come and he'd be like, what, like Fort Lauderdale, we're here. Yeah. And he'd blow out the, what I'm saying? Like even when he was that Bray Wyatt, however you want to look at the levels of Bray Wyatt, that character there, he still had you hooked. And by all means, everybody that's in on the chat and wherever you're watching us from, please throw your comments in on the chat. This is a show. Let out your thoughts, your memories of Bray Wyatt. Terry Funk. Some of you might have remembered Terry Funk. He was an NWA heavyweight champion. I remembered him a little bit, Jack and Jerry Briscoe against the Funks. Then I remember him against Dusty Rhodes for a while. Then, of course, his matches with Ric Flair. And then, of course, when he was Chainsaw Charlie with that's probably where most people that in ECW.
Yeah.
The more times of what they know. I mean, nobody will remember him in Onita, I believe it was a death match. One of the first death matches. And then it was Cactus Jack got involved, and that's kind of where Cactus and Terry formed their bond, So Josh is in. What up, Sean and Frankie? R.I.P. Bray Wyatt, Terry Funk. We lost two legends. I cry for Wyatt. Most definitely. Steven Gonzalez. What up, Sean and Frankie? R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Still can't believe. Going to miss those Sister Abigails. Now he's in heaven with Luke Harper. Yeah. That's the other thing, too, man. That just like, dude, somebody said it today, and I didn't even think about this, man.
See, now they're celebrating Terry Funk.
Terry Funk, yeah.
Wow.
There was a tweet today, and I never thought about this. Think about this from John Huber's son's standpoint. -1. His dad, 3 years ago. Do you know who his godfather was? Bray Wyatt.
Wow.
Bray Wyatt was his godfather. So now he's lost his dad and his godfather in 3 years.
That's so sad, man.
That kid, man. They say the trials and tribulations are going to build strength. That kid's going to be a very, very strong kid. Going through this. Chad's in. We appreciate you. EWD Jr. says he got my name wrong. What are you? Oh, Sean, whatever, man. I don't get upset about that. Steven Gonzalez says, man, shit hurts watching this, man. Yeah. Ray's ring entrance, one of the all-time best. You know what's funny is, like, when I look at all-time best entrances, and I think we did that the other week, and neither of us had Bray.
But we had him as like an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yes, I did say it. The Wyatt family. I remember I said it.
Yeah. But I mean, when you looked at it, I remember I went to, it was the AAA at the time, and it was The Undertaker versus Eddie Guerrero. And Eddie Guerrero came out in the lowrider, and then The Undertaker hit, and the temperature just like dropped, and like they just chucked it up to like -30 or something, man. It just got cold in there all of a sudden.
That's so cool.
But it's just one of those things that, like, when you see the lights turn off and then the fireflies, and dude, man, this is one of those things too, man. Like, these guys that are performing, guys and gals that are going to perform tonight, man, dude, they're doing so on just a heavy heart. I know everybody, in wrestling, everything's like, oh, the show goes on and this and that, but it's one thing when, like, somebody's been sick for a while and this and that. And again, Bray was sick for a little bit, but the word was that he was actually set for a return to wrestling before this happened. So it's one of those things where, like, like when you look at the two instances, Terry Funk, you knew he was fighting the illness, you knew, there, whereas Bray Wyatt, it's just kind of like, boom, gone. Yeah. And at 36 years old, man. 36 years old, dude. That's just way too young, man. Way too young and also we're not doing a top 5 no debating today.
No.
The list that we're kind of making, and you know what? Throw some names in there right now. Wrestlers you thought, left us too soon.
Yeah.
Everybody here's different age, different era, so there's going to be different names on there and stuff like that. But, so just if you want to throw some names in there and everything else there. King Mahi Carlos is in there now. Nicholas is in there. R.I.P. Wyatt. Terry's in. What's up? No doubt. 36-year-old working, and I'm not working out. Scary. Yeah. This show is subscribed. You guys rock. Got to see T-Funk in the 80s. Yeah. Armando, that was back when he was that when he was doing I'm not sure where you're at, Armando. Are you here in Florida? Are you in New York, or where are you at located, Armando? You can shoot that in there when you get a chance. Just interesting, because I know some of the 80s he was here in Florida, And I know he also did some stuff with Memphis. He did stuff all over, man. Terry, I was lucky enough to be on a card with Terry Funk.
Oh.
And it was the Davie Rodeo Arena here in Davie. It was the main event was Terry Funk versus Dusty Rhodes versus Kevin Sullivan versus Duel the Butcher. And no pinfalls could be scored until everybody was busted open. That was the stipulation of the match. And those guys, you know, they sat there and they watched, you know, the matches. They sat with people. They talked. They're just professionals, man. All of them. None of them sat there and was like, "Hey, don't bother me," you know, this and that. And actually, hold on a minute. Keep going real quick. I think I got the card right here because there's a lot of big names on this card. I want to show it. I want to try to call.
Well, while Sean tries to find that, that is a big card. I just seen those guys back in the day. Unfortunately, I did not get to see Terry Funk in the 80s. I was probably either a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old. But I did get to see a lot of Bray Wyatt. I do remember Terry Funk from the ECW days. That's kind of like when I first started watching Terry Funk. And then obviously with Bray Wyatt, the last thing I can remember from Bray Wyatt, if you guys remember, was when he came out and started talking to the fans. And you know when they did that scene where, you know, they zoomed into like different sections and everybody was like, "Oh my God, Bray Wyatt is back," you know? And we all fell in love with that. We were like, "What in the world?" But unfortunately, like what Sean said, a lot of these guys, we forget that there's more to them besides the wrestling. We love the wrestling. We see them every week. And then when all of a sudden one of them just leaves, it kind of like shell shocks us. So, and that's why it gets, I think especially us that we're all wrestling fans. At the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans. So when something like this hits us, like we're like, "Oh my God." Like I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a little bit. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this guy." And then we're just watching this right now on SmackDown. I was like, "What in the world?" So I like what Sean just said. Something like this, those guys are wrestling, but those guys are, man, especially the close ones, the ones that, you know, everybody who had it. I mean, I lost one of my closest friends a couple of years ago, and I didn't stop balling for a couple of days. I had to take days off from work because that's how much I was affected by it. And imagine how many of those guys actually spoke to him maybe the last couple of days before. You know, Terry Funk the same way. Like, you don't know this, and then imagine those people. Like, and then obviously some of my friends were saying, "Oh, I didn't know that Bray Wyatt's dad was IRS," and I remember IRS completely back in the day. He was from the 90s. I didn't know about that until a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, "Holy crap, IRS is it?" So it's really, really cool that he made a mark in the wrestling by just himself. He did not use his family's name to kind of elevate himself. He was like, "Look, this is who I am." And then of course Terry Funk. What I love about Terry Funk is that Terry Funk would always bleed like crazy.
I
Terry Funk
saw
would
this
bleed
little
like crazy.
one-liners. It was like, "You egg sucking dog, Dusty Rhodes, you egg sucking dog."
Terry
And then
Funk
with his you know, the Texas accent, it was just, he had that raspy voice and the Texas accent. It was just like, you know, again, he also did movies. I mean, he was in Roadhouse. He was in there was a couple other there that Sylvester Stallone movies, Paradise Alley or something, and some other ones. But just so I found it. There it is.
Ooh, look at that. Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk,
Duel the Butcher, Kevin Sullivan. You see Norman Smiley there. You see Bruno Sassy versus Christopher Daniels. Scoot Andrews versus Low Key. York and Matthews. That was one of the Eminem guys. Barry Horowitz. There I am. Dennis and Sean Allen. There I am. Hack Myers was on there. Dave Johnson was there. Antonio Banks. You may know him better as MVP.
What a stack card.
It's a good card. Would you 3,500 people at that time was a pretty damn good. That was 2002.
Where was it at?
1 years ago, Davie Bergeron Rodeo Grounds.
Wow.
We run a show there every month, once a month. And that was our hardcore That was a 4th year anniversary, and it was the Hardcore Legend Bloodbath.
You gotta love these names. Bloodbath.
Oh man, we had some crazy stuff. There was the 10-man table tournament, table battle royal, where you had to put a person through the table to be eliminated. We did the Christmas tree match. Some good stuff there.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, when you look back and I don't think we got to see the full complexity of what Bray Wyatt was going to be.
Nah.
I think that's what hurts more, because when he came back, I looked at it and I was like, man, I'm so excited for him to be back. And then he was back for 1 or 2 matches, and then he was out again. And then it was like, then I read life-threatening illness, and then it was like, oh, he's making a return to come back. And then you texted me, and my daughter texted me and was like, Bray Wyatt died? And I'm like, no. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. It was all over there, and it's one of those things, man. You just
me and
make sure you hug everybody around you. Make sure you tell everybody that you love them, and because again, somebody said it here earlier. Was it? Where is it at here? Right here, Coach AJ. No one is promised the next day.
That is true. And what I think King Mahi asked, did they say what he died from? Unfortunately, he had complications apparently from COVID.
Yeah, he got COVID, and it exasperated a heart issue.
Yeah.
Apparently, they I guess, again, I'm going off of what I've read. Nothing has been told to me by anybody in the know, but he was working on making his return. So I believe everything had worked out or they thought everything was worked out with the exasperated heart issue from the COVID. And then yesterday he had a heart attack.
Just to say this, it's been crazy the last couple of years after COVID, how some of these athletes, and obviously Bray Wyatt wasn't like, he was a little bit chunky, but still, he's still an athlete. You still have to be able to, compete and be able to do all those moves. You're not a scrub if you're doing all that. How all of a sudden, like after the whole COVID, like these random heart attacks, these random heart issues have been affecting all these athletes, young, old. I mean, it's scary, man. And it's
it's like what's been said. I don't think there's anybody that you could put 3 people side by side, give them all COVID, and they're probably all 3 going to have different reactions.
And you know what's funny is, well, not funny, but kind of crazy is that you guys know I just recently went to Los Angeles, and over there in Los Angeles, there's still a lot of people wearing masks, which surprised me. I was like, why are people wearing masks? But again,
there is another variant out there now.
Supposedly, yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, everybody body is different. You don't know how this virus is gonna attack. Look. Me, a couple of my friends, we were all there. We are perfectly fine. But one of our other friends who was in Los Angeles, she hit us up and told us, oh, I'm feeling sick. And she was going to go get herself checked. And again, we were around a whole bunch of people. So it's like everybody's body's different. So it's kind of scary. And yes, basically just make sure you guys check yourself out. Make sure any crazy symptoms and stuff like that. And don't overexhaust yourself, because you never know. Like that's... tomorrow is never given.
I promise, definitely. Yeah. Armando says, Sean, did you ever get a card with Nikita Koloff or ever met him? He was not like portrayed on TV. Cool dude. No, 100%. I actually did a card in Fort Pierce, a ministry card. He did it for his ministries, and he had a wrestling card, and we were involved in it. And it was funny because backstage he talked to us regular. And then when he went out, and then he was his Nikita Koloff voice, and for certain things, he went into the Nikita Koloff voice, and then he went back into his voice. And he really is probably one of the nicest, most genuine guys I've met. And again, I only met him we were there for a total of 10 hours because they had us come in early, meet with them. We had to work out, and then he chose who he wanted to work on the card that night. Everybody was invited to stay, whether you're working the card or not. But I was fortunate enough to get to work on the card, but he is one of the one of the nicest guys that I met, and did not get a chance to meet Tully Blanchard. He's one of the guys I would like to meet. I know a lot of these guys have turned to ministry. You've got Ted DiBiase, a little bit of trouble right now. Tully Blanchard. You've got Nikita Koloff. Sting does his thing. Of course, Shawn Michaels. You know, it's one of those things, man. Because again, man, you know, wrestling nowadays, I think, has changed for the better for the performers. It was the wild, wild west back in the day. When you went, you got paid, you went out, you partied, and went to the next town. You did it all over again. You did that for 6 or 7, 5 or 6 days a week, and then go home for a day, refresh, and back out and do it again. So, wow, I can't believe. So they are going to they're doing a little bit of the angle stuff.
Yeah, you see that?
They just did Grayson Waller, and now so they must have decided against.
Well, if you saw,
you're talking about having a meeting or something. So
if you saw, they dedicated a good portion of the beginning with
definitely
with Bray Wyatt, but then Terry Funk, they kind of just showed a couple of
but the thing is,
messages.
Terry Funk was not a big WWE guy. Later on, he was, and things like that.
Good
He
point.
was NWA. He was the enemy for a lot longer.
And you know how Vince?
Vince is like, look, I might be in bed with my spine surgery, but you're gonna give me money was garbage, I imagine. No, it wasn't terrible. I mean, money in independent wrestling till now, wrestling was it's pretty much garbage. All the money you're getting paid was pretty much garbage. Every once in a while, you'd get that good card, especially when you wrestled at like Mikasuki, any of the Indian reservations. Good paydays, buddy. Good paydays. So right now we've got the U.S. champ. I forgot he's the U.S. champion. Rey Mysterio just beat Grayson Waller, and they did have Austin Theory come down and go there. So, they're also wearing armbands for Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. They got TF and BW.
Oh, that's cool.
On their arms.
That's cool. Did Grayson have one too?
I gotta check.
Well, Austin Theory didn't have any.
Oh, Austin Theory doesn't. He got jumped by Santos. Santos has one.
Santos has one.
Babyface will definitely have one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Grayson Waller didn't have one either.
No, Grayson, nope. So, again, this is the night where you're going to have a lot of
probably like back and forth and see if some of these guys are going to be showing love.
Yeah, supposedly they supposedly again they canceled Jimmy Uso's segment today.
I saw that. I heard about that. I heard that they canceled it.
But I think because it was going to be one of those things where it's like family and his brother, you can't really get in that line.
Not the right time to be talking about.
Probably not the right time to be.
Oh, see, they're going again with some.
They're showing segments on the Wyatt family is born.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. I thought they missed the boat a little bit on the Wyatt family. Not gonna lie.
I think so too.
I thought it had legs to go a lot further, and then
they dropped the ball on them a little bit.
I thought they did. But those, and especially when you added Braun Strowman, the 4 guys, they were a.
But then wasn't you remember Bryan Danielson was one of them too?
Well, that was to get Bray stuck in the cage by himself with him.
Yeah, but he was in there too.
Yeah, he was there for about a day and a half.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes. Okay, so want to go to now. Let's get into some of the wrestlers that we thought about as far as taken from us a little bit too soon, and again, we're probably going to miss some, so please throw your names out there.
Let me share that with you. See if you can post it up. I found this online, so I was like, hey, maybe I could show. Yeah.
Is this the one with the staircase, or is this a different one?
No, this is a different one.
So this is what this is. I think the bigger named wrestlers that have passed away, and it's kind of like a collage. So there's some of the ones for Bobby Heenan, of course, Owen Hart, he's on my list as well. Bam Bam is another one. Yokozuna, I didn't realize was only 34 years old when he died.
Yeah, man. Yokozuna,
I was like,
man.
wow. When I went through, I was like, because at first I didn't have him on the list because I'm like, I thought he was older. And then I looked at the age. I'm like, oh no, he's got to be on the list. He's way too young for that. Kurt Hennig was 44.
Look at Vader, man.
Yeah, but I think, he was up there, I believe. In the age, I mean, again, probably sooner than he should have left. Same with somewhere like, the Warrior was taken way too soon. But when I look at way too soon, I'm looking at it more. Of course, everybody's taken way too soon in life. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's I'm not debating that. But I looked at it more as far as their contributions to wrestling or something like that, as far as gone too soon. Everybody's gone too soon when they leave us. I mean,
yeah,
that's a given. So I had Owen Hart, of course, Eddie Guerrero. Do you want me to just name and then you can add, or if you want to throw in there, Brian Pillman, of course, Bray Wyatt, John Huber, Jay Briscoe, of course, Shad Gaspard. Eddie Gilbert is an older wrestler, but he was one of those guys that I thought, again, another mind taking way too soon. Very creative guy. David Von Erich, he passed away. He was actually supposed to win the NWA heavyweight title from Ric Flair. He died in Japan. Jeff Peterson was an independent worker, and he actually, I believe it was his uncle, formed the Jeff Peterson Cup. And yearly, that used to be, it was in the ECWA back in the day. And that used to be like the big, now it's the Super 8 Cup, or it turned into the Super 8 Cup, but it was the Jeff Peterson Memorial Cup. And then it went on. Crash Holly.
Yep.
Bobby Duncombe Jr., who was with WCW. He was part of the Outlaws with Kurt Hennig, Barry Windham, Kendall Windham. They were taking on Master P and his soldiers. Yokozuna, I added. Umaga, I added. He was 36. Test. Adrian Adonis is another one that I thought, again, he was on the borderline. He had gotten let go by anybody that's watched Vice, know the story. He was let go, was working around on the independents, died in a car accident. But I think he had a lot left in him. Terry Gordy as well. Chris Kanyon was another one. And then for me personally, another one that way too soon was Hack Myers, who I had the opportunity to work with down here in Florida, and way too soon. Him and the gentleman that trained me, Dave Johnson, as well.
Some of the ones that I found, Alberto Perez Jimenez, better known as La Parquita, was one. My also Umaga was another one that I had on my list.
Chris Candido, Corn, Iowa Productions, good call.
Yes,
good
Chris
call.
Candido.
That's another one that was a little odd. He broke his leg, flew home, got a blood clot, and passed away.
Was there any women that also passed away besides China? I think China was another one that passed away.
You know what? I didn't see a lot of the female wrestlers on there. I know
there's one called Mariana Comos. Comlos? I don't know. I've never heard of her before. I would have to look at it. She said that she is perhaps the best known for her stint in World Wrestling in 1999. She was Miss Cleavage, where she was the manager and mother for a wrestler. Let me look more into her.
I think she's in WCW. That sounds like a WCW thing.
No, she was in WWF. It says World Wrestling Federation.
Miss Cleavage?
Miss Cleavage. That's what I found. Marion, hold on, let me look her up. It says Miss
Cleavage. I think that was that gimmick when they had one of the headbangers doing the beaver gimmick, and his dad and his mom was Mrs. Cleavage. Cleaver.
Not sure. On June Beaver now calling herself Chaz. I guess she called
Chaz is the headbanger.
So I guess she was part of it. I was trying to look for women.
They only had it on there for a little bit. It only went for a little bit. But yes, okay. Now with Cleavage to Cleaver, okay.
Yeah, She was one that I saw besides China. Um, and then I also had like the more modern ones like Owen Hart, just like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Test was another one that I had on there. So, um, Jay Briscoe from well now
Ring of Honor,
Ring of
AEW.
Honor, yeah. And that was a sad part as well. Obviously, Brody Lee, you
Yes.
know, those guys also were tough to see them go. But yeah, that's pretty much on the chat. Let us know, guys, if you know
Yeah,
anybody
Terry
else.
and Brian Christopher. That was another sad one, and also another one that like that story got a little crazy. So and then No Doubt brought up Benoit.
Look, I found another one. Ashley Marie
That was the one I was trying to
Massaro.
think of. Ashley Massaro.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was 39 when she passed away. She committed suicide. Wow.
Yes. Apparently there was some things too connected to wrestling, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So
Wow.
some things there.
And then you got Chris Benoit, but Chris Benoit was a little bit rough.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to talk about Chris Benoit.
Josh said the Ultimate Warrior, and Josh, was he taken from the world a little too soon? Yes. The wrestling world, I think his time in the ring, again, the way I was looking at, gone too soon was their contributions to wrestling. Because to me, everybody's contribution to life has gone too soon once they leave. China, yeah, I mean, it's difficult, man, because when you look at everything she did everything you could do in her short time. I mean, honestly, she did everything she could do.
And then she went to porn.
Spiraled out of control after that, but she did everything she could do.
And some of them I'm looking up right now. Radish and Rick Rude, he was 40.
Yeah, but again, this is where I look at it and I go, he got injured and he wasn't able to work anymore.
What about Big Boss Man? He was 41.
Yeah,
was,
that's still
that 40 range.
I stopped at like the 40-ish area. I think I went to like 41, 42 on a couple of mine, maybe. But Sarah Lee was another one. I think she was, Coronado Productions. You're right. A tough enough winner, yeah. Terry Von Erich was another one, but there was such bad mojo on that family, man. I mean, you had David Von Erich die because of, supposedly he ate too much meat and then he fell asleep on his back and he regurgitated and he died and it went back into his belly and everything else. Crazy stuff.
Terrible way to die.
And then Chris Von Erich and Mike Von Erich, I believe, one of them died they had an illness and the other one committed suicide. Kerry Von Erich also committed suicide. It's just one of those.
China was
that life for a while, and then it just.
China was 46 when she passed away. Yeah. Viscera was another one.
Yeah,
I remember from mine.
I think he was. Well, how old was he?
Viscera was 45.
Yeah, but see, I think some of those guys, the bigger guys, could have went a little bit longer because they don't do a lot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he was 43. Sorry, 43.
Yeah, I think that might have been. That's another one. Terry, we did say Crash Holly earlier.
Oh, remember George Gonzalez? He was known as the Giant, and he was in
El Gigante.
El Gigante, yes.
El Gigante, yes.
44. I don't know if you guys remember. I remember him actually. When I'm looking at him, I'm like,
bodysuit.
Yeah. That was so cool. I didn't know he died at that age. Wow. But see, some of those big guys, I mean, it's hard for them to keep going. Let me try to go into let's see who I find in the 20s.
And also I'll tell you now, I don't know a lot of Art Barr. I knew he was Eddie Guerrero's partner. He passed away, and that's really the reason Eddie Guerrero came to the U.S. because they were doing a lot of good stuff in Mexico. Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero, but it's one of those things, man. I don't know a lot about the Spanish, the Mexican wrestling and things like that to know how many of them, passed away way too soon on that end. And No Doubt said CTE. It happened to say how, And 100%. I mean, again, back then though, CTE wasn't a thing when that incident happened. You know, whether today would something maybe more help or more things. You never know, man. It's one of those.
So here we got Chris Thomas Duffy. He was 35. He did WWF, IWF, and he was in the independent circuit.
Chris Duffy? What did he wrestle as? Chris Duffy?
His name, it says, was an American professional, primarily under the name was Chris Duffy. Yeah, Chris, that was his name.
We have to remember too, a lot of them say WWF because they were in the enhancement talent. So they were the guys that were put out there to, you know, job to Hogan and anybody else that was getting the match that night. So
there's didn't Scotty Too Hotty wasn't another one that got?
No, Scotty Too Hotty's still alive.
Oh, Scotty still alive.
Brian Christopher, which was the other one, not Scotty Too Hotty, but of Too Cool. That was Brian Christopher. That was Jerry Lawler's son.
Let me go. I'm going into I'm trying to look for on the 20-year-olds. A lot of the guys that they have posted. I'm on Wikipedia just looking it up, but a lot of the guys that they posted is a lot of indie people. There's not that many. There's not that many that stand out. Yeah, they don't have the youngest that they have here. Maybe you've heard of him, Janet Wolf, also known as Janet Wolf, was an American professional. She was the foster daughter of Billy Wolf and Mildred Burke. She was in NWA apparently. She died at 18, but this is like, I think before our time because
I believe so. Mildred Burke was one of the first women competitors type. I think she was the one that trained Moolah.
Really?
I believe that was something like that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, way out of our time frame.
Way out. But yeah. So those are some of the guys. Wrestlers passed way too soon. Not to mention the ones that again that gave back and then again, like as I said, everybody that leaves us way too soon. All right, so the other thing we wanted to get into was, we might as well let's cover this as WWE-ish. Edge wrestled his last match on contract right now with WWE.
He did.
And he came back out and he had a cup of coffee and he said, I got an extension sitting in my inbox right now. But that's where it is right now. And I loved how every beat writer right now, they're doing the Fiend's debut. Sorry. That's amazing. Just the costume and everything on the theatrics to his characters. Just
I wonder how Randy Orton was Randy one of the guys out there?
I did not see it, man. I did not see that. I don't know.
Who was the last guy that worked with Bray
Wyatt?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that crazy
yeah. And supposedly LA Knight is the main event tonight.
I hope he does something crazy for him.
I wonder if they do like what Stone Cold did with like Owen and things where they toast a beer and leave it in the ring or whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
I know Zelina. Zelina was one that was crying, even though she's fighting now against Io Sky, but she was one of the ones that was crying.
So Edge, and then I loved how everybody jumped on and was like, I can tell you right now, Edge is not going to AEW. You're no kidding, because if he goes to AEW, you can't use Edge. He'd be Adam Copeland.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
No, but it's a way of being out of it. Edge is not going to AEW. Edge.
It doesn't matter. I know his name won't go, but himself.
It's the easiest way to say it, right? It's the old bait and switch. I told you Edge wasn't going. It's Adam Copeland.
But I imagine him.
To me, I don't think he should go.
Okay, now all right. So for me, I think he should go. So let's talk about this. What's your argument? Why do you feel it would not make any sense for him not to go to AEW? Tell me.
For what? What are you going to AEW to do? Reunite with Christian? Do a 7-second pose? What do you have to go to AEW to prove? And then if you go there and it turns into something bad. Now you're stuck there.
So I'm gonna tell you why I think he should go to AEW. Number one, yes, I do feel that he should go to AEW because Christian is there, and reuniting those two would be amazing. Number two is we've known Edge for a very, very long time in WWE. We don't know Edge outside of WWE, even before he got injured. So it would be interesting to see the reaction of the fans seeing Edge in a different type of large company with AEW. Now, I will say this. If he wants to build something bigger, I think when you go to AEW, he would be one of those guys that would be a mentor to a lot of those young wrestlers. And I think if you're a wrestler and you want to go ahead and make it, like do something after your wrestling career, I would assume that what you want is to kind of make a name for yourself by, developing young talent. And I think he has a better shot of doing that in AEW than in WWE. And I think that would be one of the reasons why he would go over there. I think he would bring an amazing amount of fan base to AEW, and he'll bring and he would have more liberty to do whatever he wants. One of the things that a lot of these wrestlers don't get to do when you're in WWE is you don't get to fight in indie shows. Maybe he goes on a world tour and like, yo, you know what? Let me go give some of the fans the fans that can't make it to these big events an opportunity to see me before I go. And if he can still hang, which he can, you could tell that he can still hang, even though he was complaining that he lost his touch. But that guy has plenty of wrestling in him, man. Like, can you imagine him? Look at Billy Gunn. Look how much Billy Gunn is. I'm actually think Billy Gunn has kind of re-erected his career because of going to AEW. Like he was good in WWE, but look how old he is, and he's hanging in there. And he's part of the pay-per-view coming up on Sunday. I don't see if he loves wrestling and he wants to try something new. I think AEW is a different route, man. I think it gives him the opportunity. And he'll be a star. He'll be him and CM Punk up there. That's for sure. Imagine him against CM Punk. Some great cards.
The way I look at it is Edge has nothing left to prove.
It's not about proving. It's just about what he wants as far as like
what he wants. But then also there is the part that says, okay, if I go to AEW and it doesn't work out, what that's the lasting impression you want to leave?
Do you really think if he goes to AEW, it won't work out over there for him? I don't think so.
Look how long it's taken for Christian to get something, man.
But he's there. He's
okay. But okay, so he's there. So what do they do with Edge? Shows up next week.
Mm-hmm.
They're not putting Edge and Christian together.
No, they're not. They're not.
No. So then, what are you showing up to do?
He's already a
CM Punk or somebody.
He's already a mega star as it is. As soon as he makes his way over to AEW,
that's what I'm saying. Though he doesn't need to go to. You're making it seem like he needs to go to AEW for this and that, and it's
no. He doesn't need to go. But if he feels like he wants to try something different, and or maybe be a part-time wrestler, because remember, a lot of these guys, look, he came back for a reason. He knew his career was cut short. The wear and tear in WWE is a lot, but in AEW, he could still do some part-time stuff. Look at Sting. He does part-time stuff all the time, and he's still hanging it there. So it's not like it's hurting. It would hurt him.
Man, no, dude. Like,
it's not needed.
Look, I love,
but I don't think it would hurt him.
I watch him now. I'm like, oh, okay. Please don't jump onto another table. Please.
But is his lasting image bad right now in AEW? No. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
The fact that he had to bring back the Joker Sting.
That's because he wanted to bring it back.
Yeah, because that's the end. Look at everywhere he goes. What's the last thing he is? The Joker Sting.
Well, his time is running out. I mean, how old is he, man? He's up there. He's over 50, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying that, but it's like, okay. But the problem is also with TK is that, like he had the press conference and he's like, Sting's got his whole. We're gonna make his whole career right here at AEW. It hasn't been that way, buddy.
But it hasn't been a complete disaster either.
It hasn't been a disaster, but the Sting that we saw and the Sting there's no difference. It hasn't propelled Sting being in AEW.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. Again, I don't think Sting needs to get propelled anywhere because everybody knows who Sting is. He's just doing it for him just wanted to wrestle. And he's developed and helped Darby Allin drastically. He's kind of been his mentor and it's elevated Darby Allin. But Sting has not, by him going to AEW, it has not ruined his career. And he has a good lasting image. A lot of people still want to go see him. He's going to get a huge pop in this next pay-per-view. I don't think it's bad. Look at Rob Van Dam. You know, he came over there. He did a wrestling thing. I don't see it, again, like you said, it's not a need, but if you still have that urge, like all of us, like all previous wrestlers, I'm not gonna, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sean? That you guys get the urge that, hey, man, maybe I could still, give it a go. It won't hurt him if he wanted to try AEW because he could still do it part-time and he could still come in and out whenever he feels like it. He doesn't have to be the full-time guy like he is in WWE. And I know you guys get the itch.
That way with them. I mean,
all you guys get the itch.
Just work out the deal Brock Lesnar had. They'll offer. I mean, whatever. The thing was, supposedly, before this whole coffee drinking incident, the word going around was WWE sent their offer and it wasn't what Edge wanted.
Now, Edge did come out and say, hey, I'm in good terms with WWE. Yeah. And I'm happy with the way it ended. Like, supposedly that's the way it's going to end with that SmackDown show. I would have liked for him to have been something better, like a pay-per-view, but...
He was the whole SmackDown was him.
True.
It was his SmackDown. That was basically what...
But it's just SmackDown.
His hometown. So.
It's just SmackDown. I mean, I would have preferred them to at least done like a pay-per-view with him headlining or something. Even though he's retiring.
For what?
To give him the respect that
pay-per-view. Okay, TK. Let's put pay-per-view together for Edge. It's every match.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you being the superstar that you are in wrestling, you're fine with just ending your career on a Monday night or a Friday night SmackDown? You're good with that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Even I know it's his hometown. I wouldn't. I would have preferred something more. Like, yo, I'm done.
That spot was marked for him for this whole time.
And keep in mind,
he in SmackDown was marked for Edge.
He didn't even say he was retired when he did that show. So even after the cameras went off. So it's like he still left that maybe there.
Yeah, well, he said this is the last time you'll see me possibly in this ring, probably in this city. It's the last time you'll see me perform in this city. That's what he said.
I mean, if Chad says just hang him up. He can still hang, Chad. He can still hang.
Yeah, but again, you're turning into Ric Flair. Let's just keep going until we can't go no more.
No.
Go out on top.
Ric Flair.
Go out on top. Your way. You got that taken away from you the first time. Now you got the chance to ride it the way you wanted to go out. Go out that way.
Ric Flair is on another level. He extended his career too crazy. I don't know about that one. That one, I think he called it quits way too late. But and again, it's just a lot of
marriages.
A lot of you guys have that itch that you're never gonna let go. You guys want.
I always say you never retire from pro wrestling. You don't.
Exactly.
I did. I mean, so that's done.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you, Sean, probably.
I lost my last match. I lost my title. My last match was me losing my title.
I'm pretty sure you could probably look at a ring and be like, yo, I could if I could.
That's why I don't go to a lot of shows that much anymore.
You see, there you go. That's the thing, you guys. And it's the same way. Like a lot of people look at it. Look at all of those in other sports. It's the same cause, Like, yo, I still can hang. But you can't. Look at boxing. Boxing is another one. MMA is another one where these guys they think that they can hang. Ric Flair was on a different level. Edge can still hang. How old is Edge? Isn't he 41? I think he's 41.
Oh, Edge is more than that.
Really? He's older than 41?
He's a lot older than that, but I think he's older than that. It's hard, though, because I think he came in so young that...
He did.
And
then he just dipped. Well, then he got hurt, and then he had no other option but to come back.
He's 49 years old.
Okay, so he's up there. He's almost 50.
You got 2 kids, man, dude. Go out on Toronto, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope he can
come throw these boots in the dumpster for me, please.
Look at Chris Jericho, baby. Chris Jericho's still rolling.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see that match with him and Will Ospreay.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be an interesting.
Steven Gonzalez asks, guys, wasn't Jey Uso supposed to show up tonight? What's the deal with that? No, it was Jimmy Uso that was supposed to show up tonight, and I believe that was scrapped because of everything that happened in the last 2 days. More so, I think, what happened yesterday. Because again, with Terry Funk passing, terrible, but he has been sick and he's been fighting for a while. So it was, it's kind of expected that Terry Funk would end up passing away. But the Bray Wyatt thing now, that kind of threw more of the monkey wrench into the plans for SmackDown. And Cody Rhodes is coming out right now. And I've got the volume down on my phone, so I can tell what he's going to say. So anybody that's watching on the chat, let us know if you're there. And also...
So look. I'm looking this up right now. Bubba Ray Dudley, 52. He still wrestles. Chris Jericho, 52. Still wrestling. Devon Dudley's 51.
Not wrestling.
He's not wrestling. He could probably still hang, though.
Taking pictures. Although he could probably kick my ass right now, but he's not wrestling.
Yeah, he probably can.
It has more to do with the heart issue. I believe he had like a scare with his heart. I don't know what it was at 100% when he was producing with WWE.
How old is Sting?
As you said, Coronado, Bray was still on the roster. 100% true.
Sting is 64 years old and still wrestling. 64. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah. 64, baby. Still can hang, bro.
64 years old, running around with a baseball bat. Painting up his face. Jumping on the tables that don't break.
He's about to go in front of more than 80,000 fans. That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. But do you want to anything else we want to talk about when it comes to WWE? Anything?
No. I mean, WWE was mostly the remembering of Bray and Terry, and then also talk about Edge, because now it goes over to the greatest pay-per-view of all time.
That is correct, sir. We cannot just disregard that. It is the moment that we all been waiting for.
I am still shocked too, no doubt.
Shocked about what? No doubt. What are you talking about? We have an amazing card just for you guys. This is what the fans wanted. Please bring it up. Let me get this out of the way. There it is. Look at that. Talk to me, Sean. Look at that stack card. At first, I thought I was like, yo, they're going too hard, but no. Now that I look at this,
there's a match missing.
Which one? What am I missing? I got this from AEW.
Where's the 0 hour?
Do they have it on there? No, they don't. They don't have the A. This is from AEW directly.
Oh, man.
This is from AEW directly. All right, hold on. I got another one, I think.
No, I was kidding, man. We know what the 0 hour is. We got that. Good.
I guess they just wanted to show the pay-per-view one.
Are we doing our predictions here? We're going to go match by match and predictions?
If you want to. Do you want to keep it up while we do our predictions?
Yeah, let's do it. And hey, jump in on the chat. Chad, Coronado Productions, no doubt. Let's see. Steven Gonzalez, Terry. Who else we got? Armando Swain. My dad's in there, of course. Nicholas Colmenares.
Yes, sir.
EWD Jr.
King Mahi.
Jay Galfin, King Mahi, Too Extreme, Coach AJ. We are going to pick AEW all-in results, all in London. Here we go.
All right, so let's first talk about the 0 hour one. So the 0 hour one we got is oh man,
Oh my goodness.
I just messed it up. There it is. Sorry
Oh,
about
phew. I thought I was gonna have to cut you out for a minute.
that. I was trying to pull up the other one that actually has it, but anyways, all right. So we know the 0 hour one. It's gonna be Adam Cole, MJF versus the Aussie Open. So Sean, what do you think? Okay, so this is my prediction. I personally feel, dude, there has to be a good storyline. Like this gonna tie in with that main event AEW World Championship fight. I'm gonna go on a limb and I'm gonna say that the Aussie Open guys win and beat Adam Cole and MJF. Some way somehow somebody's gonna get involved.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
and I think that's what's gonna happen. I hope it doesn't. I want them to win. If they win the Ring of Honor championship belts, then we all know that their run together will last longer. But if they do lose against the Ring of Honor champs, then I think it would be a sad day for AEW because the group finally goes down. And I do want to see MJF pull out that kangaroo kick. I think that's the best thing he's come up with, which was amazing.
Yeah, I think we get the kangaroo kick. I think we get the double clothesline, and I think Roderick Strong and the Kingdom come out and cost MJF and Adam Cole the ROH Tag Team Championship.
Now, did you see that Adam Cole and MJF have been making the rounds around, like promoting this a lot? Like they did the wings that I don't know if you remember that show that you eat like spicy wings.
Yep.
Yeah, they did that, and then obviously MJF also did the Busted Open. I think today with this guy. Where he was talking about his whole career and how he came.
Oh no,
up
MJF did Busted Open on Wednesday.
Also, so it must have been. There was a video.
Wednesday, I believe Wednesday or Thursday. They did the town hall where he's sitting with the microphone with.
Oh, okay, so that's what it was. Yeah, because I saw it today, and it was pretty cool the way he was talking about his career and how he came up and all that stuff. So yeah, so for the 0 hour we both agree the Aussie Opens are gonna win, right?
Aussie, oi, oi, oi.
Oi. All right, next we got probably, in my opinion, I honestly think this is going to be the best one of the best matches of the night. Is that Stadium Stampede? I don't know the way their lineup. I don't think this is going to be the way they're going to line it up. Obviously to start off, but since we'll just go from bottom up, and that's Stadium Stampede. I hope they deliver, man. I hope they fight everywhere. It should be so good, especially in that big ass arena. I mean, or Wembley Stadium. Are you kidding me? And you got and you know who's gonna win it? Screw those guys. Screw Moxley and Wheeler Yuta and all those guys. It's gonna be the other side, baby. It's gonna be Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy out there. You know, the best friends and my boy Penta. Cero miedo. Oh man. Yeah. What do you got? Who you got?
No, I agree with you. I think again, when you look at everybody in this match, there's two guys I see getting pinned. Trent from Best Friends or Wheeler Yuta from the other team. Those are the two guys that are getting pinned. One of those two. I think Wheeler's got the better chance of getting pinned. But I mean, I don't know why. To me, this match lost its luster because why does Santana and Ortiz need to be with, Blackpool Combat Club?
It was nice to see Santana. I mean,
no, I'm happy they're back. It just makes no sense for them to join them. Like, why?
Well, because they used to be part of the Jericho. What was their name back in the day? What was Chris Jericho's name?
The Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle. So the Inner Circle doesn't exist anymore. So they had to come back some way, somehow. I think joining the whole Moxley crew makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like it. I like the fact that they're and plus, and they have the.
I think they turn on the Blackpool Combat Club. That's what I think happened.
And they have that.
The only thing I know for sure about this match is Moxley's bleeding.
Okay, so let's predict. Besides who? So who you got? Do you got the Blackpool Combat Club winning, or do you have the other guy?
Oh no, I got the other team winning just because Blackpool Combat Club doesn't win anymore.
Okay, so then let's predict how many will bleed in this Stadium Stampede.
All right.
So
Wheeler Yuta and Moxley and Ortiz on that team.
Okay, you got 3 of them. Okay.
Yep, I've got Kingston. One of the best friends. I'm not sure which one. They both bleed every once in a while, but only one bleeds. I think it's gonna be 3-3 because I think Penta bleeds as well.
Wow, you got Penta bleeding?
Yes.
Okay, so Claudio's not bleeding.
He's the only mask guy I've seen bleed like as much as he does. He always gets his mask ripped a little bit, and there's always blood or something.
Like Evo Uno? All right.
In a way, yeah.
So Claudio doesn't bleed.
Forgot about Evo Uno. So second other mask guy.
Moxley will bleed. Wheeler Yuta will bleed. Santana and Ortiz, I say all 4 of them bleed. Those 4. The only one that's not going to bleed is Claudio. And then on the opposite side, I have the best friends, both of them bleeding. I have Eddie Kingston bleeding, and I have Orange Cassidy bleeding. So I say 4 on each side. The only ones that don't bleed is Penta and Claudio. I don't see Penta bleeding. I think Penta's going to hold strong in his mask.
Orange, Claudio, and one of the best friends in Santana not bleeding. So I got 4 not bleeding out of the 10. So 6 bleeding. You've got 8 bleeding. I've got 6.
Yes, more blood. Okay, moving on. We got the next match, the trios match. This is Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, and then how do you pronounce this guy's name?
Which one?
Taka, like the Asian guy.
Konsuke.
Okay, Skonsuke, whatever. And then obviously you got Juice Robinson, you got this guy Takeshita, and then obviously we got this guy Jay White, also Bullet Club Gold. I personally got the Bullet Club Gold winning this.
No doubt, you're right, buddy.
Orange Cassidy's too pretty to bleed. He never bleeds. That's why they should make him bleed, because he never bleeds. But did you hear what they said about Orange Cassidy the other day? That he was defending his belt and he doesn't even remember.
I'm sure.
Again, man, that I'm a little bit shaky about those AEW health conditions.
Again, is that just part of the thing because he gets his ass whooped all the time? Now they're trying to make it like he doesn't even remember. That's what happens.
I think Takeshita and the Bullet Club Gold take this one.
Really?
I think it's going to be an upset.
No. I see Juice Robinson being pinned in this match. I give it to the Golden Elite.
The Golden Elite. All right. Next, we have a big switch. It's supposed to be Strickland and AR Fox, but now it's Christian Cage against Darby Allin and Sting in a coffin match.
Oh, the coffin match. The old coffin match.
We got 64-year-old Sting, and he's going to get put in that coffin. I got Strickland and my boy Christian Cage, the TNT champion, taking this one from Darby Allin and Sting. I say they beat him. I say this is the first time Sting and Darby lose a coffin match. I bet you don't have. Who do you got? You got a 64-year-old Sting, even though you think he should retire?
Hold on a minute.
Coffin match, baby. Can't go wrong with a coffin match. Oh, geezers. Can't
49-year-old Christian Cage. 64-year-old Sting. What do we got for Swerve Strickland here?
I say Swerve is 28.
No way, 30-something.
Face paint wins. Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I have no. Typically they should because they're good at coffin matches. But I say this is an upset. I say Strickland and Cage. I think Christian Cage is running high right now.
33-year-old.
Strickland.
Oh no, September he'll be 30. So 29.
I was only out for 1 year.
Swerve Strickland, and then how old do you think Darby Allin is?
I think Darby's like. I'll say Darby's like 25, 26. Darby Allin was going with that hot ass woman, that hot ass wrestler.
Wow, he's also 30.
Wow, he looks. I
He's
mean,
almost 31.
no homo, but he looks young as hell.
January 7th, 93, right? My math right on that?
93?
7th, 93, yeah.
He's the same age as my brother. He's gonna turn 30.
Yeah, but he was born January, so he's already 30.
Yeah.
All right,
wow.
so basically Swerve is the youngest one in the match.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, so listen, if you're making a 64-year-old fly all the way across the pond, his ass ain't going in a coffin. So Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage are losing this match. Darby Allin and Sting will win it.
I say Darby Allin gets put in the coffin. Take that, Darby Allin. God damn it. He goes in that coffin. They lose. Cage. Luchasaurus gets involved, baby. Luchasaurus gets involved. I actually like this fight. I wish AR Fox would have been in it, but they did a good job at least replacing it with Christian Cage. All right, next we got one of the main events of the night. Chris Jericho.
One of the main events is the 5th match on the card.
Oh, there's 3 main events. They've promoted it that way.
Oh my god, this AEW is just.
Don't you see how they have it? Like,
you get a main event. You get a main event. Everybody gets a main event.
That's the reason why Edge should come. All right, main event. One of the main events: Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay. I am a little bit concerned for Chris Jericho because Will Ospreay likes to hurt people, so I'm a little bit concerned. But I'm gonna say there's no way Will Ospreay loses in Europe. I say Will Ospreay beats Chris Jericho. I'm excited about this fight though too. I want to see how Chris Jericho hangs with him. But I say Chris Jericho.
And also remember, there's Don Callis there, Takeshita. I think some dirty tactics happen somewhere in the match as well. So I agree with you. Will Ospreay is going to walk out the victorious in London.
Sammy Guevara will try to help out, but
yeah,
get out of here. Next, we got the AEW World Trios Championship, the return of Daddy Ass. Yes.
No, it's not Daddy Ass.
It's
badass Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
He returns badass. No, Daddy Ass is dead. He's back as badass.
Needs to stay as Daddy Ass.
No, Daddy Ass boots got crushed.
Damn. And then House of Black. Wow. Who do you guys have, since I've been picking first? Who you got on this one?
I think, look, man, the way this story's built up, the Acclaim's got to get the payoff, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they have to get the payoff. But, man, I'm going to miss the House of Black as the Trios champions. I like what they've done as the Trios champions. I like the challengers get to pick the one stipulation of whatever they want it to be. You know, all the little stupid stuff that they do, it's made it better to me.
Yeah. And technically they kind of remind us of kind of like the Wyatt family, right? They're like the dark team right now. So I'm assuming you're going with the Acclaim on this one.
Yeah, I think with the way the story's gone out, if they did all this for badass Billy Gunn to show up and then badass Billy Gunn doesn't come through on his thing, then badass Billy Gunn should be like Edge and just call it quits.
It does feel like that would be kind of like what when Cody lost said I'll never fight for a championship belt, and then he loses. And because of that, I think AEW will get it wrong once again, and House of Black will take the win. And that's when Daddy Ass will return. Daddy Ass returns eventually, but not
a lot
that.
Of scissoring going on.
There will be a lot of scissoring. There's nothing wrong with scissoring out there. But yes, I have the House of Black. I want them to continue. I think they've done a good job with the Trios Championship. But don't take it away from them. They're the right people to hold it. Move on from the Acclaim. The Acclaim, they're okay, but you can still continue the story for the next pay-per-view. You know that's the way I look at it. I say they lose to the House of Black in this one, and then they beat them in the next one. They get a rematch, and then Daddy Ass recovers and bounces back, baby. Yes. Next match, the second main event of the night, the real world championship, The real world championship.
You get a belt. You get a belt. Everybody gets a belt. Just make sure you put an X on yours, okay? Okay.
It's the real belt, sir. CM Punk against the Ring of Honor champion, Samoa Joe. I have to say Ring of Honor.
He's not the Ring of Honor champion, though. He's the Ring of Honor TV champion.
I'm sorry, the Ring of Honor TV champion. Absolutely correct. Thank you for that correction.
You're welcome.
CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. I really want Samoa to win. Nah, screw that. It's all about CM Punk, baby. Yes. Yeah. CM Punk takes it. Get your ass out of here, Samoa Joe. You ain't beating CM Punk.
I want Samoa Joe to go in business for himself. Think about Twisted Steel and just choke CM Punk out. And then leave. You ain't got to beat him. Let him win.
He ain't choking anybody out, man. You don't choke the best in the world, sir. He's the real world champion. Mm-hmm. So you got Samoa Joe. I got CM Punk.
We both know CM Punk is winning that one. I mean, come on.
You want to know what I've noticed? I've noticed
DJ's fanboy. He's going to be in the back going, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Come on, guys. Let's get it going. CM Punk's out there.
It feels like whenever we pick AEW pay-per-views, they're like so predictable compared to the WWE one. All right, next we got the AEW World Tag Team Championship. FTR, Cash Wheeler, that road rager on the streets against the Young Bucks. Oh man, I actually got the Young Bucks winning this one. I think the Young Bucks win this, especially after what happened to him.
Well, FTR now stands for F the Road Rage, and Young Bucks win this one as a, hey, listen here, buddy, mine's bigger than yours. Boom.
It just sucks that obviously we didn't speak too much about
Especially
it. But
with everything the way it rolled out, where they're like, oh, we're aware of the situation and are monitoring it, and then you find out the incident happened in July. This was just a court case. So were they not aware of, like, I mean, it almost makes them.
Wait, this happened all the way in July?
Yeah, it happened in July.
But there was a warrant out for him. So they just put out a warrant for him?
Yes.
Wow. And this happened where? This was in Orlando, right? Was it in Orlando? I think it was in Florida.
Oh man, I'll get it right now.
It wasn't. So if you guys didn't hear, obviously Cash was a little bit upset. He went over. He was on the highway with somebody, and I guess he was tailgating him. And then the guy was driving too slow. And how can you drive too slow in front of Cash Wheeler? You got to move out of the way, goddammit. So he moved out of the way, and I think it was that Cash flaunted, like showed a gun or something to him, or like did something to him while he was flying past him. And then the guy comes here and says, "Oh my God, my life was in like death situation." And
he was arrested on Friday after he was involved in an incident on July 27th. He was charged one count of aggravated assault with a firearm. The warrant for his arrest was issued on July 28th. Wheeler then filed a plea of not guilty on August 3rd. Following his arrest, Wheeler had an arraignment hearing on August 18th. That is when everything started coming to the day. I think the day or two before that arraignment was when everything started coming out. And then,
damn, it sucks.
Yeah, so it was, I guess apparently he noticed he was honking.
He showed his gun, right?
Around him, and then Mata took a look over and noticed a white male with a beard pointing a black semi-automatic handgun out of the driver's window at him with a strong stare. Mata said he feared for his life at this time. Mata stated he slowed down to get out of the way of the firearm and ended up behind the suspect vehicle at the time. And at this time, both were committed to exit 83. Mara took pictures of the Jeep as it turned right onto College Park and began to drive recklessly. Mata said the Jeep bared Florida that took the tag, basically, and that's how they ran it down.
Ridiculous. Why would you do that? Hey, they're lucky that it didn't cost them any issues to fly over there to Wembley. Yeah. So, man, they got lucky with that one. But I
think, again, if they didn't know, this is your punishment. I mean,
yeah, you lose.
Yeah. I mean, you're going over here to lose the match that you probably need to win. Honestly,
you think they need to win? They don't need to win.
But again, they've put all their bank in being the best. That's why we have to beat you, because we're the best. And now you're going to go over there and lose?
I mean, they are the ones holding it down on Collision most of the time, so it is going to be a little bit rough. But I just
also
don't.
you're losing to the Bucks, man. Like this is the perfect time to where if you want to make this money thing, you want to throw a little bit. This is what they could do, and then stick with me here and follow me. They could pull the old switcheroo where everybody thinks the Young Bucks are going to win because of everything happened to FTR, right?
Mhm.
What happens if CM Punk came out, got the Young Bucks' attention? Don't have to get involved. Just get their attention. And then FTR rolls them up real quick, hooks the tights, 1, 2, 3. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. And you get that the little blurred line of, is this supposed to happen? And now you can start working on the money angle of getting CM Punk and FTR versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
I love the idea, but it would sound very difficult for Tony Khan to actually come to fruition with that. So I don't see that happening. I think that's what they should do. That would be a great way of bringing in that. But it's too complicated for Tony Khan. Tony Khan is just going to.
I wonder if they're going to have like 6 entrances. CM Punk's entrance, the FTR comes out of that one. They're going to have like 6 tunnels. Everybody can come out of whichever tunnel you want to come out of so they can't be around each other.
That would be great. Next we got the AEW Women's World Championship, which makes absolutely no sense why. But we got Saraya, Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, and Dr. Britt Baker. That woman.
DMD.
So I have the feeling that they're gonna drop the ball. They just give Shida the championship belt. I don't know why I get the vibe that she's gonna lose it. I don't know. For me, it would make sense for her to keep it, but then that means that she's beating 3 of your best top female wrestlers in AEW. It just wouldn't make. And Shida, I don't think Shida's in the same level as any of those 3, in my opinion.
What?
No, she is not. She's up there, but she's you out of those 4, you're telling me that Shida is better than any of those 3? Those 3 are way better than her. I have no reason. There's no reason why she should be the champion. It should have still been Toni Storm. But AEW doing their thing. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say, and this is an interesting one. I'm gonna say Toni Storm gets the championship belt back. Because then they could do an angle with Shida on the next pay-per-view. So I say Toni Storm gets the win. Saraya helps her, and she pins down Dr. Britt Baker. Who do you got, Sean? Do you got DMD, Toni Storm, Saraya, or Hikaru Shida? Love that name.
I'm going with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, pulling some shady stuff and winning.
Ooh, you think she's going to turn heel? Mm-hmm. Wow, that would be interesting. Interesting. That would be interesting. You think she'll join Saraya?
Nope.
No?
Nope. She's just going to go heel and win the title.
Wow. But then that means then how would she get off? Well, I guess Shida would be the one that would either take out.
Shida will lay somebody out, Britt Baker grab her, throw her out of the ring, 1, 2, 3. Win. It'll be like something like that. Like Shida will have the victory, and then she'll get nailed from blindside. Or even Storm could have the victory, and then Britt Baker's going to come in and whoever get rid of them and then steal their work. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So you got Britt Baker, I got Toni Storm. And then last but not least, the main event, the third main event fight of the night, what we all want to see, the AEW World Championship, MJF versus Adam Cole, baby. Who you got? I'm going to let you go first. Who do you got?
Uh-oh. I got a whole long thing planned for this, okay?
I want to hear this.
All right. So I think MJF's going to pull out the ring, put it on his finger, go to hit him, but then be like, oh, wait, he's my buddy. And then I think what's going to happen is Roderick Strong and the Kingdom are going to come out. And then MJF is going to be trying to fight him off, this and that. Adam Cole, baby, gets the victory. And the heel couple are your women's champion and your men's champion. Adam Cole and Britt Baker, your head of the table couple, the head couple of AEW. And Adam Cole joins Roderick Strong and the Kingdom once again, and they start reforming, whatever you want to call it now, the Undisputed Era, the Elite Era, whatever the hell it is you want to call it. It starts rolling out tomorrow night because MJF is going to be a babyface going forward.
I like it. I kind of have it the same way. I don't have Britt Baker winning. I have Toni Storm, but I do have Roderick Strong coming in and getting involved again. And I do have Adam Cole winning, but I also have I think AEW is going to bring somebody here. I don't know. I'll say Kyle O'Reilly makes his return, and Kyle O'Reilly goes in and they start a new faction with. They're not going to be called the Undisputed Era, but I say he makes a guest return. Nobody's expecting him to return. He comes and he actually causes MJF, distracts him and whatnot, enough for Adam Cole to win. And here comes the new Undisputed Era in AEW with those guys. Since we haven't seen Kyle O'Reilly in a minute, I say that's what's going to happen in the main event of this All-In stacked paper.
And then the craziness of this whole thing is All-In is Sunday, right? You got Monday Night Raw. You got NXT Tuesday, Dynamite Wednesday, SmackDown Friday. You've got Rampage Friday.
Don't
you got
forget
Collision Saturday. You got WWE Payback Saturday. And you also have the All Out pay-per-view Sunday.
Damn, if you're a wrestling fan, you can't ask for anything more than more wrestling because they're giving it to us.
This week is going to be, that's what I said, like these last 2 days leading up for this week. Man.
Too much. It's going to be a lot of wrestling out there. I'm going to have to be recording a lot of stuff. I am excited for obviously All In and All Out.
Did you get the price of All In yet? What was they set up those bundle prices? Did you ever see that, or haven't tried to see it? Or
AEW costs. I mean, it would make sense for them to bundle them, but all right. So it's $49.99 is what I'm seeing here. 18 hours ago, they said
80,000 people paying attendance. You can't lower the pay-per-view price a little bit there, TK?
$49.99. But is he going to put them together? Is he going to put All In? And so it says here, and I'm getting this from Sporting News. Says how to watch. Apparently, in the USA, it's going to be streaming in BR Live, Canada Fight. Payperview.com, UK, Ireland, and Australia is all going to be in Fight. It's going to be $49.99. And it begins at 6 o'clock. The pre-show begins at 5. So it starts at 5 and the pre-show, and then the actual card starts at 6.
Yeah, they moved it up a little bit.
Oh, I actually, we forgot a fight. It's on the pre-show. They added it. Jack Perry will be defending his belt against Hook, the FTW.
The FTW title's getting thrown away.
They put that in the pre-show. Yeah, they're getting rid of it. I got Jack Perry losing that match. I say Hook wins. But yeah, no, there's nothing on here saying about like a bundle. So I guess if you want to watch it, $49.99 this Sunday, and then another $49.99 next Sunday, baby. $50 each night. Come on, man.
Good God.
We could afford it. We're ballers, right? We're all ballers. We're all wrestling fans.
No, there's nothing you can do in 1 week to set up for the next pay-per-view. What are you gonna do?
I think they're gonna have such a high for All In, and then I hope it doesn't happen, but I think they're gonna kind of crash on All Out because I don't know, man. That's kind of rough that they're doing that. I mean, I know they're gonna and not even hold on. When is Ricky Stark's wrestling suspension off? Is it by next Sunday? Because it would make sense to put CM Punk against Ricky Starks next Sunday, and then have Ricky Stark beat CM Punk. That's what I would do. I would say he beats Samoa Joe, and then next week when he does the other pay-per-view, he loses to Ricky Stark because they're pushing Ricky, and I think it's the perfect time to have Ricky beat CM Punk.
CM Punk cannot lose. He's the fake champion.
Yeah, but if you're gonna lose to somebody,
you're a world champion.
If you gotta lose to somebody, it should be to Ricky Stark because Ricky Stark is just on fire right now. That's the right person to lose to. So, and then the other thing, word on the street is, guys, I know you guys are tuning in. Word on the street is that there is gonna be possibly some surprise guests making their way to All In. So, I'm hearing Ryback might show up. So I don't know if Ryback will get involved in that CM Punk Samoa Joe. But I heard that he might be surprise guest coming into All In. And then
okay, so All Out would be day 29. His suspension ends on Saturday before All Out.
Makes perfect sense. That's what she's
30. He wouldn't have been. He would have missed both of them. It would have ended the Monday after. So that's why they changed to 28 days.
It makes perfect sense. Now you know what? CM Punk is gonna win against Samoa, and then he'll lose against Ricky in the next one. It just has to be like that. Because Ricky,
and then also if you know what we say happens and the main event happens, it's a rematch. Adam Cole versus whatever, and then you can make it in a cage so everybody stays out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can throw something into it to make it so you can make those two matches right there. So.
Or man, I hope AEW thinks about this. Or what they could do is that they put Roderick Strong against Roddy against with Adam Cole against MJF, and guess who comes back on MJF's side? Freaking Warlord, baby. Yes, Warlord and CM and MJF come together and put as a main event them two versus Adam Cole.
That'd be good for them trying to build Wardlow back up.
Yeah, and give him.
I don't know what else you can do for him right now because they killed him. Man. They just ran his ass right into a brick wall.
They did it. It's so bad. I feel bad for Wardlow, but yeah, man, that's kind of like the pay-per-view.
It looks like there is no bundle pricing.
No, bro, they're gonna make us pay for this stuff. Well, Sean, are you gonna pay for it?
No,
not even All In.
No.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
$49.99, $50.
$50. That's how much that's less expensive than the 100 wings you like to eat.
I'm telling you now, I'm finding somebody with a Bleacher Report. I'll get their login.
Hey, you know?
Frankie, what's your login?
Oh my God. I'm pretty sure somebody will stream it, right? Yeah, hackers, the streamers out there.
Yeah, but I never get good luck with those things. What I got to do to stream those?
It's been hard. I used to do that with the UFC fights. Yeah. And now they're getting harder and harder. But yeah, that's pretty much the card. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited of All In? I mean, I think it's a good card. I at first I wasn't too sure why they put Adam Cole and MJF to fight twice, but now it makes a little bit more sense. I think it's not so bad afterwards.
You know, they could still win the titles and then schmoz the ending there, and then it wouldn't be the first time where, and then that way, well, no, because then Aussie Open has to lose, so I don't know if that makes sense.
I just don't see them being champions in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I don't think you have Aussie Open, but I mean, because then what you do is you just throw the title back up, and you can throw in another tag team tournament to crown new AEW or ROH. And you could throw it on all Dynamite and Collision for the ROH Tag Team Championship.
Oh, LA Knight is out right now.
Special, yeah.
I wonder what he's saying.
Tony Khan special.
I wonder what I thought LA Knight was gonna do something crazy. I wonder. I have it on. I don't have the volume on, so he's probably saying something about maybe Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, he said something about Bray. I
But
turned
yeah.
a little bit. So.
All right, well, guys, that's pretty much it. Unless you got anything else, Sean. Anything else you want to talk
I don't. Not this week. This week's show went a little bit. We wanted to be more about remembering Bray and Terry, and then less about the wrestling. But we have All In, so we had to get All In our picks there, and then we'll be back hopefully Tuesday, back to our normal time. I had a whole house of sickies, or I would have ran it on my own, but then at least Frankie got able to be a part of it with it now. So we appreciate everybody. All In pay-per-view and AEW game, $79.99.
Wait,
the all-out pay-per-view.
So they did a bundle with the video game? That makes no sense. That is so dumb. But it's typical of AEW if they did something like that. $74.99 would be nice if it was for both. They gotta do. Damn, they.
50 would be nicer. $49.99. Buy one get one. BOGO, baby.
Just AEW knows how to wow the fans with some of their decisions, but I mean, we didn't even talk about that Chainsaw Massacre match, which was one of.
All right, go ahead. You want to talk about that? I forgot about that. Go ahead.
What are we gonna talk about? That was one of the dumbest matches we've seen in AEW, man. That was terrible. First they was that red light, which you could barely see them fight.
What? They got $100,000 for it, baby. All about that money.
They like those gimmicks, because remember when they had Shark Week? They had Shark Week. They had the little Shark.
Warner Brothers has a portion of AEW.
Jesus, those dumb concepts. Like, okay, you want to promote it? Just show sneak peeks of the show throughout the AEW show. You don't have to go that far.
AEW, kudos. You're doing better with your introducing characters, leading up and things like that. Still not doing good with the international people, but they did. I thought Ospreay was pretty good the way they did them, and some other things there. At least they're getting them involved more than just, hey, show up at our pay-per-view, So,
I mean, it's hit or miss sometimes with them, but like I told you, when they do those little gimmicks of those fights, like when the Shark Week, bringing out the shark, the Texas Chainsaw, whatever that was, that massacre stuff, that was dumb to have the stupid thing come out with the guy with the chainsaw. That was dumb, man. Just run promos throughout the show if you're promoting it. Just run promos, or just put it on, I don't know, put it like on the ring, like images of the damn show or whatever you're trying to do. But you don't have to go that extreme to bring out a guy with a fake ass chainsaw.
What you do is have the guy in the back going through the locker room with a chainsaw, finding nobody, just going through cutting doors, and then nobody's there.
It's so bad. Like, they do such a horrendous job with these.
It was like when Kane had that movie out, and he was that character for a while. WWE had him walking through the back with the eye that was all messed up when he did his movie.
But even WWE did a better job than AEW does with those gimmicks. I don't get it. But damn, LA Knight is talking a lot. My brother, the chainsaw man should have danced his way out. Yeah, because he was terrible. I don't even know what the hell. And then they blasted the chainsaw sound so loud. It was like, oh, what the hell is this? It's like, look at the things that they do. Remember the last pay-per-view when they had the band go for like a freaking 30-40 minutes just playing music? Come on, like, dude, get those things right, bro. Like, it just doesn't make any sense that you guys, they keep dropping the ball with that stuff. It pisses me off. Oh, on a side note, and I had to catch up, guys, because being in LA, I have missed a couple of things, but I was so happy that Big Bill, is that his name? Did I say that right?
It's Big Bill, yes, Big Bill.
He's wearing black jeans, baby. Yes, he listened to the show and he's finally wearing black jeans. I know, Sean, you remember that. I had told him, I was like, yo, you better wear some black jeans because that thing looks disgusting. When
Yes, he was threatened by Frankie Fresco, so he's changed his look.
Yes, thank God. When I saw him with the black jeans, I was like, finally, he got it right. Just wear black jeans. That way, when you sweat, it doesn't look that bad. Disgusting with the blue jeans. Ugh. But yeah, that's what we got. Funny show.
All right. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, or actually in the words of the great MJF, kangaroo kick. And in the words of the "We are better than you, baby," double clothesline. And then in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun shine state.